Yes, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Yasmin, we can hear you.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today. And
Uh,
congratulations
wait,
on this amazing
Yasmin,
endeavor. I will just take a
uh,
second to be able to share
Yasmin,
my screen
they are
on my
trying to
side.
fix the sound from this side. We can't hear you properly. Just give us a second.
I cannot hear you.
We can see you. You can go ahead, Yasmin.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Yasmin. I am a cybersecurity program officer at the ITU. I have been leading projects related to skills development, in particular policy makers for youth and for women. And so today I will try to let you know a little bit more about what are some of the lessons learned that we have observed, as well as understand a little bit more about the project that we have been working on. So just a quick overview about what the ITU is for those of you that don't know. It's a United Nations specialized agency. It's headquartered in Geneva, where I'm based in Switzerland, and it's a specialized agency for information communication technologies and the oldest in the UN family. So the work spans across three areas: radio communications, standardization, development. I will not be going too much into detail about radio and standards, but some of you may have come across some of the work of the standardization body of the ITU. I am based in the Development Bureau, which is its main aim is to close the digital divide, really focusing on skilling, focusing on sustainable development, equality, and of course LDCs and support to marginalized communities. So the cybersecurity work, specifically, the cybersecurity work in development spans across these different areas of intervention. So as you can see, the skills development is the piece that I lead, Women in Cybersecurity and Youth for Cyber. I'll be happy to send over these slides at the end of the presentation for those of you who are interested. So there is, of course, as you know, as you are here today, a widespread consensus that there is a big gap in the cybersecurity workforce. It's partly due to the increasing complexity of the cyber domain in terms of scale, but also more reliance on digital assets. But when it comes to challenges that are specifically related to people and the workforce, we notice often that there is a low awareness of the professional opportunities in cybersecurity. People are simply reporting that it's difficult to identify the right career path, the right area. It is a very multidisciplinary field. And also, since we are digitalizing fields like energy or healthcare or mobility, it also means that professionals must have diversified knowledge, one in cybersecurity, but also in the assets that they are set to protect. There is also a lack of exposure at young level, at the youth people level, in terms of what cybersecurity means and the sort of opportunities that it holds. Youth and girls and women are increasingly interested in being actors of this digital revolution. Everyone is attracted to mega trends like AI and blockchain and robotics and crypto, but often we don't realize that for successful digitalization, there needs to be safe, available, and secure technology. So cybersecurity is an inherent part of it. We've noticed also that there is both a quantitative and a qualitative mismatch. 40% of companies think that fresh graduates are not prepared for the job challenges they will face. So it's not only that there's not enough people, but also those that are there are lacking the right skills needed by the market. Education is often not aligned with the job market needs, so what is taught in schools often is not always aligned with the reality of the field. This is something that has been reported to us often. There's existing education is not adequate. Professionals always need to go through additional training, additional certificates, and requirements of jobs often are unrealistic. Many of you have seen job ads for entry-level positions that require much experience previously, that require expensive certificates, also adding as well a financial barrier. So the idea is that there needs to be more investment into entry-level talent and setting realistic job requirements for entry-level positions. So of course, we recognize this evolving landscape. The cybersecurity industry still lacks diversity and inclusion, and fostering inclusivity and diversity is key to be able to have a global resilience against cyber threats. And on the topic of today, of course, we all know and we must have heard by now that there is a considerable gender gap in the cybersecurity workforce. 24% is the global number, but of course some regions have an even more dire gap. It is of course a huge missed opportunity. This is also due by lack of female role models. It inhibits innovation, and unfortunately, this is all happening in the backdrop of a world, a digital world, where 1 out of 2 women experiences digital harm. So key inclusivity actions would be promoting gender inclusion, encouraging youth participation, and also fostering the inclusion of multidisciplinary profiles. So what would we need? What does that mean? So the cybersecurity sector needs to be demystified. It is something that needs multidisciplinary skills, not only technical. We've heard this before. We need lawyers, we need policymakers, we need people with business background, with communication background, and diverse teams are able to face these complex and multifaceted cybersecurity risks and are more effective for problem solving. Cybersecurity is not just about prevention. Risk management, of course, is key, and having that kind of soft skill is necessary. And of course, communication, so translating complex technical jargon into understandable language for executives, policymakers, and end users. So emphasizing diversity and inclusion definitely can have an advantage in the recruitment and retaining of top talent. So at the ITU, we have defined these 4 categories as key components of national cybersecurity education. School curricula, of course, integrating it in schools to promote career paths, training and certification, so that's really at the professional level, promote professional associations, and the citizens aspect, so awareness and culture at the citizen level, fostering a cybersecurity culture, and of course the governance aspect, having governance structures for support and oversight. So our action at the ITU really focuses on these last 3 parts in terms of capacity development, in terms of projects. So some of you may have heard we have launched in 2021 the Women in Cyber Mentorship Program at the ITU. It's been mandated by our member states to work in this area to promote a diverse and skilled cybersecurity workforce to address the skills shortage. We have done a different set of activities, 3 editions since 2021, more than 400 participants, and very high level of satisfaction. We can see here a short quote from a participant. Somebody said that the program has left a positive impact on their career, and of course has helped her stand out in a male-dominated field. So since then, we have polished the program and we have integrated it into a more holistic capacity building program for women called Her Cyber Tracks. So I manage this project, and it's co-implemented by GIZ, ITU, and the United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime. And the idea, the mission of this is really to promote the equal, full, and meaningful representation of women in cybersecurity. So we do so through 3 pillars: train, mentor, and inspire. Train is, of course, the capacity building aspect, covering both hard and soft skills. Mentorship is something that has worked very well in our cyber mentorship program, so we have maintained it and integrated it into this new program. And inspire, so this is really the aspect of networking, the aspect of role modeling, so really promoting positive representation of women as valuable additions to the field and not just, again, token representatives. So we have 3 different cyber tracks, so it's called Her Cyber Tracks: policy and diplomacy, incident response, and criminal justice. These are some of the learning objectives of each of these tracks. So they are tailored to participants that have different profiles. For the policy and diplomacy, it's usually women that work in government, women that work in diplomacy, and they need to more and more know about the policy making and national and international governance aspects of cybersecurity. And for incident response, this is more of the technical track for women that are either in SOC teams or in certs or wishing to work in that, having a technical background like system admin background. And the idea is really, this is more of an introductory, so that women would be able to have the use and the ability to entry-level tools and techniques. And the criminal justice, this is for cybercrime. This is women that have a legal background, so really have to be able to contribute to cybercrime cases, investigations, and cybercrime prosecutions. So this year we have a cohort of 200 women, 50 for incident response, 59 for policy and diplomacy, and 31 for cybercrime. We have, as I mentioned, maintained the mentorship aspect. That is something that we have found to be absolutely key. Each mentor is matched with a group, so between 1 to 3 mentees, and we have seen that also peer-to-peer mentorship within the same group is something that has been valuable. Has been quite interesting to see that women are also learning from their peers apart from their mentors. So some of the results from 2023 have been that we have launched and piloted the policy and diplomacy cyber track, and as this year we're continuing with that. We've had 101 participants and cyber diplomacy trainings, also like some live training sessions from different partners, trying to leverage already what is out there in terms of knowledge, in terms of capacity building. And of course, regional fora, which are the on-site activities. We had them at regional level, one for Africa and one for Europe. And of course, mentorship. So some of the alumni of the past edition have mentioned having had a good experience and better work experience in general. So one of them we can see here, Christina has become now head of her national cert after going through our program, and some of them have mentioned having higher level of confidence after going through this program. So some of the results and impacts, so we've had 93% of participants being very satisfied with the training, and of course increased expertise, increased awareness of international cyber policy and diplomacy issues. And of course, the mentorship aspect has continued even beyond the program. So women that have been matched with their mentors are continuing to exchange with them. Some of them have gotten new jobs, some of them have gotten promotions. So this kind of concrete impact is really why we're doing such programs. The regional fora, so the on-site activities that we do for our participants, involve a lot of hands-on exercises. So simulation exercises, drills, and also some master classes on other soft skills like public speaking, like negotiation, like communication, things that are key in the life of a cybersecurity professional. Networking events are also, of course, very important. We do visits to national certs of other countries so that there's the exchange of knowledge, exchange of understanding, and also exchange of experiences. And some of them have noticed that a lot of the experiences lived in their regions and their countries are shared by other certs elsewhere. So her cyber tracks has a very strong partner network. We really think that it's key to have partnerships and to collaborate in this space, as everybody is doing something in this space. It is important that also women have a sort of centralized way to leverage the most that is out there. And if any of you is interested of knowing more or interested to get involved, please do reach out. We're always open to new partnerships. We're always open to seeing how this can be potentially implemented in your region or your country. And I'll stop there. I'll be happy to answer questions, of course. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. Yasmin is presenting from the International Telecommunication. She was talking more on scholarships. Do we have any questions for Yasmin? 2? I'll only take 2 if you have any. Okay, I think we don't have any questions for you, Yasmin, so we'll let you go. Thank you for presenting and taking time off. Hello, Yasmin, can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? There seems to be an issue with the connection. Yasmin cannot hear me, and we can hear her, but she can't hear me. Hello, Yasmin?
Sorry, I can't hear. I see your mouth moving. I hope that you're speaking to me, but I can't hear anything. Sorry.
Okay, I think just type maybe in the chat box.
Maybe in the chat. That's easier.
Where's the camera? Now? Hello? She's offline, right? I think you can continue. All right, that was Yasmin. Let's continue with our program. As I said, heavy program for this afternoon. So, again, an amendment to the agenda. We're supposed to have a fire chat, but we are going to have a presentation. So I'll give you 20 minutes for this presentation, 25 at the most. So the floor is yours, please. They want to show you how hackers take over your critical information systems from Command Control Center.
Hi, my name is Gertrude Nsaku, and today I'll be presenting on how hackers take over critical information and systems using a phishing website. Yes. So this presentation is by CyberSoftNet, and these are the members of CyberSoftNet. And we have that disclaimer that anything that we're doing here should only be employed on systems for which you have obtained explicit permission, or on systems you own the right to conduct the testing. Yes. So almost every one of us here uses Facebook or some kind of social media platform. So usually hackers make use of these platforms that are used by a lot of people in order to trick users into giving out their information. This information can be anything, like your email addresses, your passwords, and even sometimes your payment card details. Yes, so for example, on Facebook, what an attacker can do is they can start by creating a Facebook page or a profile with the name like Facebook admin or meta administrator, and then they can send you a message, and the message can sound something like, we noticed that you violated some of the Facebook rules, so we're about to close your account permanently. May you please follow this link in order to verify your account within 24 hours before we close it permanently. So because you're scared of them closing your account, you end up clicking that link, trying to verify your account. And when you click that link, it takes you to a Facebook website, and you think that the Facebook website is an actual real website, but an attacker created a similar website that looks exactly like Facebook in order to trick you into entering your credentials. And in the back end, they'll be capturing all the credentials that you're entering. So that means they can use those credentials, your username or your email address, your password, to take over your system at any time. So we have a website that we just created. Since we're ethical hackers, we can't recreate or clone a real Facebook website or any other website from Malawi without the permission, and we didn't have enough time to actually ask for permission. We opted to create our own website just to demonstrate how this capturing of credentials can actually take place. So we have this website that we just created. It's login to PayFast Malawi, and it has a login button here. So anyone can try. We can send a link to someone telling them that they should verify their account details so that they should be able to verify the account before we close it permanently. So Sarah will try to log into the account, and in my command control center, which is run on Linux, a command control center is like, I can say something like a house that attackers use to launch their attacks, and they have all their weapons there. So in this case, I'm the hacker and Sarah is the victim. So my command control center is run on my machine in Kali Linux. Yeah, so I'll try to log into my command control center, and Sarah will try to log into the account, and we'll check in the command control center if everything that she did, the username and the password, was actually captured. So, Sarah, you can try. Okay, as you can see, it redirected her to a page that says something like, please download or follow this link to reinstall my PayFast app, yes. So that's also one way that attackers can use. They can try to trick you into downloading something. So if she clicks the download button, she can actually download some malicious software. It can be ransomware that encrypts everything on her system, or a backdoor to allow an attacker to take over the system. And they can be blackmailing her that if you don't give us so much money, you will never give you back your details or your system. Yes. So what password did you enter?
1, 2, 3, 4.
What was your email address?
I think cyber at 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. That's your password?
I think.
Okay, can you try again? Okay. Just click the OK button and then try to log in again. Okay, so you tell us the email address and the password that you use.
Okay, my email address is Sarah and
Sarah at Gmail.
Wait. Sarah at Gmail. Sarah at gmail.com.
Okay. Your password.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So that's the password that Sarah has entered. So we'll check in our command control center if we're able to capture those details. So first, I'll change to the directory where we have our files for the website, since that website was created by me to trick people into like entering their credentials so that I can know whatever they're entering into the system. Okay. Yes, so as you can see, we have files. We have credentials.txt. That's where we embedded the code so that it should be able to capture all the details that someone enters into that file. So we'll try to look at it, and we'll use a command called cat credentials.txt. Yes. And as you can see down there, we actually have the email address that Sarah just entered. We have Sarah at gmail.com, and password is 1234. So that's how hackers can actually take over your credentials. They can actually know your password by just giving you a fake profile, a fake website, so that you should click on. Yes. So what we're just trying to do is that you need to be aware of each and every link that you click on the internet. And it's also very important to use multi-factor authentication. And here, the command control center is on my local machine, but in some instances, they can actually have a command control center set up on the cloud, like this one. And as you can see on the region here, it's written London, UK. And it would be hard for you to find these hackers because they're appearing to be very far away, but we're actually running it here from Malawi. And sometimes they can even use VPNs so that you can't find their location. So Sarah will take over with another presentation.
My name is Sarah Piri, and I'll be presenting on how hackers can take over critical information systems from command control center using BIF. So just a little explanation on what BIF is all about. BIF is an exploration tool that is used for penetration testing. However, hackers can also misuse this tool to carry out attacks on systems. So this is our BIF, and here I'm required to enter my credentials, which is username and password. So my username is BIF, and my password is. So after you enter your credentials, you click on login. When you click on login, it will take you to this command control center where So in here, we created a link to connect us to the fake website which Gertrude created. So as you can see this side, they are hooked browsers, and they are hooked browsers. We have online browsers and offline browsers. So on offline browsers, these are the devices which try to access our fake website. So in this case, we are going to try this one. And I'll ask my friend Felistas to try to access our fake website.
Hello everyone, my name is Felistas Kampala, and I'll try to access the website. Now that I'm in, it will show Sarah that I'm online. So here, Sarah will try to send me an attack, and may you please send the attack, Sarah?
Okay, sorry, our Wi-Fi is off.
website.
So yeah, this is the IP address that access our website. So here we are going to click this IP address to see. So here we are going to click this IP address and you take us to this panel where we have details, logs, commands, proxy, XSS layers, and networks. So this is the details of the device which try to log in into our website. So the user uses Windows version 10 and her IP address is 192. Her IP address is 192.168.1.163. And the fake website she tried to access is called payfirstmarai.com. So when you do this, we hackers also take advantage to control your system. So to control your systems, we go here on commands. Here we have different commands, and in this case we are just going to use one command, which is social engineering. So here I will try to send her a pop-up message. I will click on fake flag update and click execute for her to receive a pop-up message.
As you can see, there is something that has popped up. Most of us have seen this when we're on the internet browsing, downloading music or maybe videos. It will ask you to download maybe a music player or a video player, and then you'll be like, oh, I do not have a music player or a video player. And then when you click this, I'm not saying all the things that pop up are attacks, but in this case, she just sent me an attack. So that when I install it, it will be like I'm downloading something on my machine, but in the background, I'm installing a malicious software that if I just install it, it will take away my data. So she will try to send another attack to me.
This time I'll send her a Google phishing.
We see again another attack on the screen. And most of the times it comes with a heading here. It says Google email. And here it is asking me for a username and password. So when I just enter my username and password and log in, she'll be able to access my username and password, and she can damage whatever she wants in my machine. So this is what happens.
Right, thank you. So with that demonstration, we're just trying to create an awareness so that you shouldn't be able to click any links that you just receive without verifying. And in such cases, if you are on a website that you're not sure about, it's better to be vigilant and try to look at the URL first before you can enter your credentials if you're not sure about the website that you are accessing, because usually attackers use such tactics in order to trick you into giving them your credentials, like your username, your emails, your passwords, as well as your payment card details, so you can lose a lot. Thank you.
Another hand for the amazing young girls. that are trying to raise awareness on how hackers can take over your information, do not forget the S. On HTTP, do not forget the S. Verify all the time. Do not trust. Verify first before giving your information. So I think we will have tomorrow presentation on cyber hygiene. I think they will tackle these issues of being cyber smart and other skills as well that we can learn to ensure that we are safe online. We are going to get into our panel finally. This panel will be moderated by Kate Moore. It was supposed to happen in the morning, but we shifted it to the afternoon. So Kate will take us through this panel on career paths and cyber security. After this session, we'll have a breakaway session for the girls. They'll go in the other room. But for this one, we want you to be able to see the career paths in cyber security. So you have to stay. Kate, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How was the lunch? How was the lunch? Because you look so tired. So, before I started working with the Department of Human Resources, I used to be in education. So I just want to show you what we used to do in education. Can we all stand up? All right, so all of us here, we want to pluck some fruits from the tree, okay? So imagine there's a tree, a mango tree, where there's an orange tree, so we should all try to pluck a fruit from that tree. All right, let's start with the right hand. The left hand, and put them in the bucket. Let's pluck some more. Another mango. And let's fill our bucket. All right, now we can enjoy our fruits. Thank you. Leme, she's just ambushed me. I was supposed to be on the panel, but she's upgraded me to be a moderator. So I wasn't even preparing for moderation. So you excuse me, okay? All right, so we're going to have a fire chat on breaking, okay, we're going to have a fire chat on the future of cybersecurity, emerging technologies and career path, where we'll be focusing on the government, looking at policy, regulation, diplomacy, technical, consultancies, private sector, entrepreneurs, research, and academia. We've just come from a very good presentation, a very technical presentation from our girls. It's very inspiring to see the girls being very comfortable in the command line. I think those of us who are in the ICT field, it's easier to work in the graphical user interface, but we are able to know that these girls are really going deep if somebody is very comfortable working with the command lines. So that was very remarkable from our girls. We are very proud of you. But as the theme that we have this year, we are saying inspiring the next generation. I think when we were watching whatever you were doing there, me and my colleague there were like, oh, so that was us some 17 years ago, doing the technical work, doing the website designing, the graphics design. But 17 years later, when you are growing up, as you're going up, you find that you have to be going through the strategic issues. That's where now the language changes to policy direction, to regulations. You're looking at the strategies, you're looking at the national plans. So our afternoon chat, I'll call upon the participants who are just going to share us some insights relating to the future of cyber security and the emerging technology. Why do we have to think strategic? How many of you have passed through the Lilongwe city? What is happening within the Lilongwe city as you're passing through? What's the most thing that you're able to observe as you're passing through the city center, especially the old town? There is a lot of construction, okay? And what is happening is we are expanding our load network, okay? Now, if you look at how populated our Lilongwe city is, what that should tell you when you're passing through the loads under construction, it should tell you that there were some people, maybe 20 years ago, who planned for this city, okay? They planned, at that time maybe they didn't have resources, so they implemented the load network that they could manage at that time. But strategically, they were still thinking that maybe 10 years from now or 20 years from now, the population of the city is going to grow and the load network has to expand. Therefore, we have to make a reserve of some space for expansion. So those people who are strategically thinking that time, they planned that. So in strategic planning, you plan now for things that are going to happen maybe 20 years from now. All of us, I'm sure we've heard about Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063. That's one of the strategic documents that we have. Agenda 2063. As I mentioned yesterday, by the year 2063, if God keeps me, I'll be very old. And I'm really planning to be a cool go-go. So I'm looking forward to the Agenda 2063. But if you go through the Agenda 2063, it's telling you what we are envisioning Malawi to be in 2063. Now, if you go into the Agenda 2063, you should be interested even in the cyber security issues that are there. You should be interested with the ICT issues that have been spelled out in the Agenda 2063. Because whatever we are doing now, we are building to achieve the Agenda 2063. Now, 2063 is a long period. Malawi as a country has also developed a 10-year plan, which is the MIP1. We call it Malawi Implementation Plan for the first 10 years. At least most of us who are here, if God keeps us, we should be there in the next 10 years. So at least we should be part of these 10 years, that whatever has been planned in there. So the people who are in management at high level, middle management at high level, you go into the MIP1, you look at what has been spelled out in relation to the cybersecurity issues. If you go to MIP1 and search for cybersecurity, you find that whoever were developing that document, they've planned that in the next 10 years, Malawi should be able to invest in cybersecurity. And we should, as we are growing up in our profession, we should be interested with these documents. Because whatever we are doing, we are feeding into the MIP1, we are feeding into the Agenda 2063. From there, we come now to the short-term strategic plans, which are like 5 years plans. We have now, you have to develop some policies. Normally the policies will be for 5 years, and they'll have strategic plans. We have the Malawi digitalization policy. The Malawi digitalization policy was adopted in, is it 2022 or 2023? But it's going to run for 5 years. If you go into the Malawi digitalization policy, you find that there are issues to do with emerging technologies, to do with AI, that as a country now, they sat down and said, these are the things that we're going to do. So this afternoon, we're going to call upon the people from the audience, from our panel, who are going to share us the policy directions. They're going to share us issues to do with regulations. So in as much as it's, some people when they just hear about strategic things, policies, actually some people they just don't like hearing about it. But we should get interested with policies, with strategies, because these things they're giving us direction as to where are we going into the future. So on the panel this afternoon, we are going to have the director from Makra, that's Thokozani Chimbe. Where is Toko? She's coming? Okay. And we're also going to have Sarah Kudze. We're going to have Priscilla Maluishi. And Yusuf Milazi. I think if I've missed anyone, Lemesh should be able to guide me. All right, so as we'll be waiting for Toko and the other participants, I think for those of us who are already on stage, I'll start with Sala Kuze. I think firstly I'll just ask you to introduce yourself, to tell us more about yourself before we get into the policy and the technical issues.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Kudze. I'm an associate lecturer at the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences in the Department of Computer Science and Information Systems, but I'm also the acting Innovation Hub Manager. Thank you.
Priscilla Maluishi, can you tell us more about yourself?
Thank you so much. I am Priscilla Maluichi, a lecturer in ICT at Malawi University of Science and Technology, and also the coordinator for the Center for AI and STEAM at MAST. I just received my results that I've passed my PhD. So yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations. My name is Thokozani Chimbe. I'm the Director for Legal Services at Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority. But over and above that, I'm also a United Nations Fellow in Women in Cyber. I'm also a Commonwealth Fellow in Women in Cyber. I'm also a member of Cyber Security Alliance. It's a global association. Thank you.
Last let's hear from Yusuf. Can you tell us about yourself?
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Yusuf Milazi. I am the system security engineer for NBS Bank. That means I am in charge of all matters to do with information security, be it technology, products, solutions, and software, as we grow our technological landscape in becoming a world-class retail bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to have a very interesting afternoon learning about the future of cybersecurity, emerging technologies, and career path. So I'll start with Thokozani. What emerging technologies do you believe will have the most significant impact on the cybersecurity landscape in the next 5 to 10 years?
Thank you so much. In terms, to say next 10 years, I think it's getting so far, but in the near future, I can, without a doubt, say that artificial intelligence is one of the emerging technologies that will heavily revolutionize cybersecurity. And of course, even though I'm mentioning AI, there are others as well, the blockchains, Internet of Things. They are already making an impact and will continue making an impact. But the one that I can heavily say is AI, because it has already started making a huge impact in cybersecurity. If you look at malware nowadays, it's very easy for any amateur hacker now to conduct a big-scale hack using artificial intelligence, because there's so much that it reveals. The same ChatGPT that we use, it can be used for the good as well for the bad. It can be able to give you things, even, I've actually seen it in action being demonstrated, where it can actually, it was asked how it, of course, I'm not a technical person, but the technical person was properly guided it and asked it how it can hack a certain system. And it gave him how that can actually be done. So already you can actually see that that technology is heavily impacting the way people are thinking around cybersecurity.
Thank you. I think we've, from yesterday's presentations, even today, we've been learning about the blockchains, the AIs, but also as individuals, as we said, what are we using the internet for? Let's use it to search more about the emerging technologies, just to learn more about them. Now, Priscilla, we know you are excited about your PhD. I'm actually very inspired. If you look at my profile, I'm aspiring to have a PhD, so I'm very motivated. All right, how is academic research contributing to advancements in cybersecurity, and what are the key areas of focus for researchers in this field? I think you can also share us what was your field.
Okay, thank you so much. I am into information systems, and of course, I did my research in mHealth. But what I can share is when you want to do research, most of the times you have to look at trending technologies, because mostly what you want to achieve at the end of the day is to contribute to new knowledge, as well as, of course, informing policy and practice. So right now, we don't have a lot of research in cyber and these other emerging technologies. So if you want to do research, you have to make sure that you embark your research in those, because they are not over-researched. Actually, you might be one of the first people to give new knowledge in those areas. So when you're talking about cyber, there's a lot of research that we can do. I must admit that some of the research for you to get the actual data that you are looking for example, you are working as an incident response person. It means for you to do that research, and even for organization to allow you to do that research, maybe at least you have to be working in that organization. So MACLA will not just allow anyone to come to research and do a research. But those people who are in that department have a chance to do that research because they'll have the data and it will be easier for MACLA to authorize them. So about some of us who are not in this, maybe you cannot have the data, but there are also other areas that you can do. For example, you can research on how people perceive cybersecurity and any other areas of security, just to get their views and see how that can inform you. Remember, people are just learning how they should protect themselves, and so you can research in those areas to see how people are doing. You can use, you can get data from individuals, or also you can use social media, for example, Twitter and stuff. They allow you to get that data. So you put a tweet and you see how people are going to respond, and Twitter allows you to set an account for academic purposes to get that data. They will give it to you. So there are a lot of areas that we can research about in, for example, digital forensics. You can also get data on how in an organization people are trying to penetrate and so on. And when you are learning those things, you can now know maybe how you can protect your organization better and also inform other people what things are happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priscilla. I think we've been able to pick, I think from what I've picked from her is in the organizations where we're working, there's also an opportunity that we can do our studies within our organization. Now, I'll go to Yusuf. Okay, we are hearing about the emerging technologies, we are hearing about the AI, but can you just share with us the application side? At least in the operating environment, how the emerging technology can improve maybe the service delivery in this country on the application side of these emerging technologies.
All right, thank you very much. The use of various emerging technologies is evident in most of the cybersecurity solutions which are being developed and being deployed. And it is the onus on technological professionals, developers, to leverage AI in developing cybersecurity solutions. For instance, in an organization, there is always the jarring task of constantly having to consume data, analyze it, analyze threats manually, analyze any incidents manually. But then the use of AI and AI technologies can help in automating various tasks, in reducing time spent, in improving agility, and in also ensuring that we focus on only the threats which matter to our organizations and our country. Because lost time is time when an attacker can use to do their next move. While we're busy going through logs manually, the attacker is already 2 steps ahead. It's a chess game when you are dealing with any hack. So the use of AI has really improved our speed, our agility, and various other emerging technologies. And not only in cybersecurity, AI has been used in improving service delivery by the use of chatbots. So, for instance, you have your customer-facing system. You want to improve that service. When we look at service delivery, a customer can message you at 11 p.m., 1 a.m., you're exhausted, your WhatsApp business account can automatically respond to the customer, place orders on behalf of the customer, and not only businesses, even if you're in service delivery, in ICT service delivery, it can resolve tickets and cases for your customers for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I'll go to Sarah. We are here, different people. The question we have is, why are we continually talking about these emerging technologies? What is there for those who are still in school? What opportunities are there in the emerging technologies?
Thank you, Kate, for that question. So it's really interesting to talk about the emerging technologies because where we're going, we cannot run away from it. And you talked about the Malawi 2063 agenda, and we're talking about much about digitization. That is to tell you that where we're going, these manual processes, I think, we'll not use them anymore. I believe that, I think 10 years from now, I love to tell my students that you need to gain some skills on how to use these automated systems, gain the digital skills and everything so that you can survive as different emerging technologies are taking over. So I believe that there are so many opportunities out there with this issue of digitization. Everything now is getting digital. What we used to do, like using manual processes in the past, now it's been digitized. So if you don't get the skills, it'll be very hard for you to survive. And one thing that we need to understand that these technologies do not just apply to students in IT, it's for everyone. And I was telling my friend over there to say, I think it's very important that we embed such kind of topics in every field, law, health, education, every field. We need to embed this kind of technologies and see how these emerging technologies can improve how we do things, how we provide lessons, teaching. You talk about the health issues, you talk about law and everything. So there are so many opportunities to students in here. As you have already said, I think we need to do a research, like what is out there, the drones, the AI, the IoT and everything. How can we use such kind of technology so that we can advance? Otherwise, I believe there's so much that we can do with emerging technologies.
Thank you, Sarah. There are a lot of things that we can do with emerging technologies. Do we have young people in the house? You don't sound like young people, you just sound like me. Do we have young people in the house? Yes. All right, so whatever we're doing here, we want to inspire you. Let's be very open. We want to inspire you to join the cybersecurity professionals, okay? You are doing whatever courses you are doing, but this is another area where there is potential. Emerging, these are technologies that are going to be implemented. So we want to inspire you to start getting interested in the cybersecurity professionals. Now, as you be growing up, you start looking for work, and when you start looking for work, it's when you start hearing things like, some people are working in the private sector, some people are working in the non-government organizations, and there are some of us who are working in the public service. But today, we are all here together talking about the same agenda of cybersecurity. Now, my next question is going to Toko. How can collaboration between public and private sectors be enhanced to address cybersecurity challenges more effectively?
Thank you so much. I think it goes without saying that collaboration is really key when we talk about cybersecurity. It doesn't matter whether you are private or public, cybersecurity is a general risk, and it's a global risk, I should say. So everyone will face the same risks, whether you are public or private. And again, if you look at the research and other things that are really driving cybersecurity or driving technology as in general, you will notice that this is heavily driven by the private sector. But at the end of the day, the consumers normally, or the victims, are also the public sector. So there is only one way where things can actually work if we are to win this fight. There is need for the two parties, public and private, to collaborate at each level of cybersecurity. It is a shared responsibility. That is not something that only governments should be in charge of or the private should be in charge of. It's something that both parties need to actually look at and find solutions together, not individually. And it's not just about public and private. Even the international organizations are also part of this because it's an international thing. Cybersecurity goes beyond borders. There is a saying that goes, even if US, the same threats that they face are the same threats that Malawi can face. So it goes that when we talk about cyber, even the richest or the biggest countries, they are as strong as their weakest link. So if they do not even empower the poor countries, they will also face the same thing. But even there, it's also recognized that when you talk about cyber, it is a shared responsibility by both the public and the private. That's why nowadays, even if you go to the UN, when they're having those big talks, international talks, nowadays the private sector is always there because they are the ones driving technology, the technological advancements. They are the ones who know best how some of these things can be countered. But at the end of the day, they still need the public sector, especially governments, for the policies, for the laws. But for them to be meaningful to both parties, it has to be something that has to be done collaboratively. So I would actually emphasize that when we are doing everything, that's why you see that even us as MACRA, when we were developing the cyber crimes bill, the private sector is actually part of our task force because we know that the expertise, most of it comes from the private sector, not within the public sector. So we can only legislate something that is meaningful to even the private sector. So I would emphasize that when we're talking about cybersecurity, it is a must that the public and the private, it is a shared responsibility by all. All parties are supposed to be part of the cyber talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Now I'll go to a question that relates to all of us here. We may not all get employed at MACRA. We may not all get employed at the same time, join organizations at the same time. But there is an opportunity that each one of us can take it up, whether you're working or you're not working. That's to do with entrepreneurship. Now, this question goes to Sarah. What entrepreneurship opportunities rise in the cybersecurity field and emerging technologies?
There's so many opportunities. I was just interested how the girls were demonstrating in terms of training people. That's another opportunity. You come in as a trainer, you set up your consultancy firm, and you're training people in terms of hacking and all that. So that's the first thing that you can do. Maybe you gain your skills, you have your bachelor's in cybersecurity, you have that firm, and then you're training people on hacking and other issues, how to remain safe online and everything. So there are so many things that we can do with cybersecurity in terms of setting up even startups in relation to that. The data security issues, you need to help companies because I believe this is an emerging technology. Not many people know about this. So if you come in with your knowledge and you help companies, even on consultants in terms of data security or information security, to say you gain something and your startup will be moving forward just like that. And the other thing that we talk about aside cybersecurity is the issue of IoT. We talk about data collection and everything. There are so many things that we can do with IoT. And it's very interesting to see different startups that have just emerged in this area of IoT that are into agriculture. And we have seen other companies that are coming in terms of drones. I'll give an example of Yusuf Chumori. They have their company. They're into drones. So there are so many things, as I've already said, I think in my first answer to say that we are going digital. So cybersecurity is coming in, and you can do a lot with this. So it's very key just to search the problems that we are facing in Malawi. So because I believe that entrepreneurship is all about solving problems in the society. So if you find the problems and see which emerging technology you can apply, I believe you really go far with your entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so I just wanted to ask someone to ambush somebody from the audience. When we met in the morning, she said we were together in college. Her name is Finance. I know she'll kill me for this. But I wanted her to give a practical experience. When we were in college then at the Pori, how did we used to communicate? We didn't have cell phones then. The young people in here, do you believe that there was a time we didn't have cell phones? So I wanted her just to share how communication used to be. We still had boyfriends, they used to call us. So how did we communicate? I just wanted to link that to where we are now. Can you give her a mic? There's Finest, they're just behind the man with a camera. So that's a practical experience, how we used to get communication from our parents without cell phones.
Thank you, Kate, for the platform. Yeah, you'll die for this. You usually die. As she has said, it wasn't easy for us to communicate, but we were communicating. Besides having the cell phones or whatever technologies that are here now, we were still communicating. We were using letters. You could write a letter to your boyfriend. You agree that on such a date, let's meet at the post office. On that day, I'll be wearing a red dress, a black shoe, and whatever. And that letter will get to your boyfriend, and on that day, you start up, go to the post office, you meet, you do your thing, and come back. Okay? Oh, you guys, you have evil minds. I'm not meaning that thing. Yeah, but I'm just trying to put it out there that besides having the technologies back then, we were still communicating. And in colleges, unlike you guys who are privileged to have the AIs and the IoTs and all these emerging technologies that are helping you with your assignments and the like, we weren't that much privileged. We were in that era where we only have maybe 5 or 10 computers in a computer lab, and all the students will crumble for those PCs. And you could just imagine how tedious it was for someone to write your dissertation on those 5 or 10 computers. It wasn't easy for us. But even through that, we managed to sail through, we managed to excel. With dedication, everything is possible. Thank you.
All right, so she missed one point. So all the phones, we were getting our phone calls through the administration. There was one phone operator who was getting messages for all the learners at that school. And he would write notes, put them on the notice board that you have a phone call at 3:30 and you have to line up for that call. But it used to work and it was very romantic as well. But in terms of business opportunities, if you look at how many computer shops we have in town now, how many cell phone shops do we have now? And then we didn't even have the Airtel money booth. There was no Airtel money and anything. But now you look at how many people are venturing into the Airtel money business. What I'm trying to say is, with the image, then it was the cell phones were emerging technologies for then. But now we are living in a world where it's a reality. These technologies that we are talking about now, 5 years from now, or maybe less, they'll be a reality. So these opportunities we are talking about, they are real. Then when we said, just to think of it that one can have a cell phone, it looked like it was very impossible. But now it's something that is part of our lives. So let's take these emerging technologies very seriously. Let's take these opportunities being shared with us very seriously. I'll go to Priscilla now. Priscilla, I think from yesterday's presentation, somebody mentioned one of the challenge was that if you are trained as a cybersecurity expert, it's very difficult to get a job. So the question that we want you to help us this afternoon is, how can professionals in research and academia collaborate with industry and government to translate their findings? And this should include even the opportunities of their graduates. How can they improve the collaboration so that we don't have these issues where people are trained, they're experts, but they're not getting employed in the industry?
Thank you so much. So first of all, when we are developing a curriculum or we want to introduce new courses that we want to be offering, most of the times we have stakeholder collaboration meetings where we invite different companies to come and tell us their needs in different sectors, IT, so that they should tell us what type of programs we should introduce. So you develop programs based on the findings from those stakeholder consultations. So, maybe just to briefly answer that question. So, for example, like MAST, we did the consultations with the industry, and they told us that one of the areas that they lack is to do with computer security. So they want experts who could secure the systems, their networks, and everything. That's why our module, our program, we developed that module for computer systems and security. And also, so when we are developing these modules, for example, for computer systems and security, first we have to train the student as an IT profession, which means that any job that they can get, any job that comes within the IT space, they can work. The computer systems, the security aspect will just come in as a specialization in that program. So it will be a plus for an organization to have that person, because he's an IT person first of all, and he's also a security aspect expert. So I don't think it will be difficult for that person to have a job. The other thing also that we do to make sure that organizations appreciate our programs, and also that they should also try to align what we do as universities to what they want, is to make sure that when we train our students, we should send them to the organizations. They should know what our students are capable of. So like for MAST, we do it as work integrated learning, where they will spend a semester at industry so that they give them, they show what they've learned and also contribute to that industry. And in so doing, they're also marketing themselves to the industry. So it is important also for universities to make sure that they collaborate with the industry. And the other area also that we do is to send members of staff to the industry to learn what the industry wants, to learn what the industry is doing, so that they come back to the university and teach those things to the students. So in so doing, you are going to see that now we are going to be training our students with what the industry wants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priscilla. Let's go to Yusuf. We are privileged to have you amidst us. Can you share with us what you think the future holds for women in cybersecurity? How can the industry ensure that the next generation of female leaders is prepared for the challenges ahead?
Thank you very much. The future, generally the future of cybersecurity is very, very exciting. Right now, this is the best time to be a cybersecurity professional. Who in the audience wants to be a cybersecurity professional? Put your hands up. I see this corner, the ladies in that corner don't want to be cybersecurity professionals. Right now, why I say it's very exciting is because from the private sector perspective, the view of cybersecurity is shifting. Previously, cybersecurity was just a tool to avert risk or operational loss in your company. But now cybersecurity has become a key business driver, and that is why many organizations in the private sector are positioning themselves to have cybersecurity or to repute their cybersecurity operations. How is that done? If, for instance, we've been mentioning AI and business, what would differentiate a business which I have and which Sarah has? We both use AI, we're both running our businesses. You as the customer, why would you go to Sarah and not me? The customers these days understand the importance of data privacy, the importance of security, and they tend to lean to a solution provider or a business which will ensure that their data is secure. NBS will come to you and will give you a loan at the same interest rate. That other bank, I don't know its name from down the street, will also give you the same interest rate. Why would you come to NBS? Because you know that your information is secure. Why would you go to that other bank? Because maybe that one is more secure. By reputing your cybersecurity operations and cybersecurity being a key business driver, we know that our customers are going to follow us through that. And now it brings us to the question, how do we increase the women representation in the private sector cybersecurity? As I said, now cybersecurity is a key business driver, correct? That means we need representation. We need collaboration. To build the best products, we have to collaborate. We need collaboration from all sides of the spectrum, because those products will in turn be best usable by our customers. So since our products, our target is to have the best products across each and any industry. I'll give an example of Apple. Everyone knows Apple, the company which makes the iPhone, correct? Apple, over the last 10 or so years, their go-to marketing strategy, product marketing strategy, has been security or privacy. For anyone who has watched an Apple keynote, you'll see 3 minutes into the presentation, they'll mention how secure their product is compared to the competition. If they're introducing a feature which their competitor already did, they'll mention how secure it is compared to their competitor's product. And in the same last 10 years, Apple became the first company in the world to reach $1 trillion valuation. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. How is that done? That is done by involving everyone, bringing everyone to the table, have representations for both sides of the spectrum, so that you build the most secure products for everyone and have the understanding of everyone. And that is the direction the private sector is generally taking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was expecting a clap. All right, Sarah. I know I've been asking questions, but now I just want to give you a chance just to share your, whatever you had, whatever you prepared, just share whatever you have as your last remarks.
Thank you. I really like what Yusuf has shared in terms of the opportunities out there for women. So this is my message to all girls in here, aspiring cybersecurity experts. Let's take on the opportunities. And one message that I want to share with you, I think so many people have been asking like for a degree, bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, or they want to specialize cybersecurity, and I'm glad to share with you, like from our department, something that is in the pipeline that we believe that next year we should have a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and also a diploma in cybersecurity. So if you're interested to pursue a degree in cybersecurity, that's an opportunity for you. Otherwise, girls, this is for us, this is for everyone. I believe that we have the knowledge, we have the capacity, we can bring the change in the world that people are looking for in terms of information security. Let's not look down on ourselves. We can take up the leadership roles in the cyberspace and we can change things. Thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you so much. IT is dynamic, and if you want to pursue a career in IT, you have to be prepared to learn all the time. So, like us academicians, you know, when AI comes, we have to say, okay, AI, let's send people to school and train so that we should be able to train others. You cannot just say that, hey, I did IT in 1990 and I know everything. No, things are changing every day. So you have to be prepared to be learning new things all again and again, because otherwise you'll be irrelevant in the field. And if we had secondary school students, I would have said that for you to pursue a career in IT, sciences is a must. So you have to work hard in sciences so that you should be able to pursue any career in IT, and then you can proceed and do cybersecurity, you do cloud computing, you do all these other things that are there. You'll be able to do them because you are first a scientist. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Toko, in your closing remarks, I just wanted that you should share with us on the cybersecurity diplomacy as your closing remarks.
Thank you so much. I think this is one thing that I think I wanted to talk about. I've been beginning to talk about. The field of the opportunities in cyber are endless. You do not just have the scientists alone. You do have the lawyers as well as being cyber experts. But over and above, there is also an opportunity in cyber diplomacy. I'm also a trained cyber diplomat, but I would like to talk to you, tell you what a cyber diplomat does, or what is it about. For those who follow international news, you might have heard the excitement from last week that the UN is about UNGA. I know you know about UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, that happens in September. It's happening again this September. And one of the exciting things, like for me, is they're about to adopt the first ever convention on cybercrime in the world. To have this convention, it hasn't been easy. It has been a process that has been going on for 5 years. Countries needed to do a lot of negotiation in terms of what to agree, in terms of how countries should operate in the cyberspace. This is the role of the diplomats, the cyber diplomats. You need to understand the field of cyber. You need to understand the applicable international laws that apply to cyber. You need to understand the principles that apply to how states are supposed to behave when they are operating in cyberspace. So the cyber diplomats, if you would want to be a diplomat, international relations and other field like that where you want to work with the foreign affairs like in Malawi, you can also, they will need cyber diplomats, because all the conversation right now in the UN, I don't know how many meetings are to do with cybersecurity, but all those meetings, they require cyber diplomats. It's about negotiations, how you negotiate. There's one thing that always used to amaze me when I attended international conferences, was how you see different states advance their own positions. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the United Nations, everything is agreed by consensus. But to reach that consensus, it's not easy. It takes a lot of negotiations and agreeing, and most of it happens outside than in the actual assembly. So to learn how to talk, how to negotiate, it's, especially when it comes to cyber, the cyber diplomacy, you need to be a cyber diplomat. And you need to understand what happens, what cybersecurity is all about, what countries are talking about, what are the issues that are going on, and how can you talk to another country to negotiate and to meet an agreement. So I would also like to urge you to actually look into cyber diplomacy for those who wouldn't want to be, who are not scientists, but would like to pursue a career in international relations or diplomacy. Currently, with the passing of the convention in September, very likely there will be a lot of diplomacy that is required between countries. I remember right now, even in the US, they'll tell you that their biggest budget right now is on cybersecurity. And if you look at the discussions that go on there, there's a lot, and it's an exciting, I don't know, I wish every one of us would experience how it feels like to be in the United Nations halls, discussing cyber, taking the floor and representing your country to advance what you believe your country should be. Why we need cyber diplomacy is that most countries like Malawi, we just accept things. We are not part of the treaty making because we don't know what is going on. We don't have cyber diplomats who can negotiate with other countries on the positions that will be ideal for Malawi. But when you get there, you are able to advance your country's needs so that you shouldn't pass something that would negatively affect your countries. So I would also like to advise you, young ladies, and even women, especially those in foreign affairs or in government, likely to be in foreign affairs, please look into cyber diplomacy. It's an exciting field. Thank you so much. And lastly, I would actually like to emphasize on one thing. When it comes to cyber, one thing comes across, regardless how much you know, even if you're an expert, attitude also matters, because I've actually heard a lot of cyber people saying that they would hire attitudes over competencies. Competencies you can train, but attitudes are very hard to change. So if you have a bad attitude, no matter how good you are, you might not be attractive out there. So this is the other thing that I would like to, especially young kids, that how you interact with people, how you conduct yourself towards your work, your general attitude, not your competencies, are also a big deal when it comes to cybersecurity, because you need a lot of collaboration, you need to talk to people, you need to have the right attitude. So we should also be working on our own attitudes. I would like to, these are simple things that we do, that when we are doing, I'm hoping next year we would also like to have a part of etiquette, how we conduct ourselves in groups. If people are serving food, you just don't go straight to dessert utenga china chili chose. And when you just go somewhere and dish out, you know, line, but kupanga hipi kuzona kuti antalipo ambiri mbiri. Those are simple things that matter, that we as young girls and women, we need to be mindful, especially when we are a group, because it's not just our competencies that will matter at the end of the day. It's generally our whole persona, everything, the way we look at things. Thank you so much.
Yusuf, I think you are the last one to give us your last remarks.
Yes. To have, in my closing remarks, I'll just give you direction into having a career in cybersecurity in the private sector, be it a bank, be it an insurance company, be it a corporation. There are usually two paths you can take when pursuing cybersecurity in the private sector. You might either go the information security route or the information assurance route, or which others call GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. When you look at the information security route, here you mostly apply technological concepts into resolving security risks, addressing them, mitigating them, and identifying them. In information security, you don't have to have a degree in information security to get started. I usually recommend a background in either networking. So if you've already been working and you are in networking, you can easily transition. Or a background in software development, you can easily transition. Or even if you have both, you can easily transition into information security, because that gives you a holistic understanding first before you start protecting. You cannot protect what you do not know, as what Dr. Priscilla said. Teach all the concepts and then secure them. So first, you have to know how networks operate, or you have to know how software operates. Thereafter, you know how to hack it or protect it. And in information security, you can either be in the blue team or the red team. In the blue team, you are focusing on protecting an organization's information assets, the shareholder value, and also complying to government regulations, laws, and industry standards. While the red team, you're focusing on penetrating systems and identifying vulnerabilities, which is called hacking, ethical hacking. But you do it as a real hacker would do. And red team is fun. Who here loves traveling? You know, you travel to different countries, hack different companies, and then you stay there in a hotel for a week or so while you're conducting your exercises. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, there's the information assurance, which I mentioned. Here, you deal with governance, risk, and compliance. So our organizations have an information security function and an information assurance function, all sitting in the tech domain. In the information assurance function, you do not even have to have an ICT background. You could be a lawyer, an accountant, even a doctor, and you can get started with information assurance. One of my biggest role models in security is this lady, Cheryl DeGrippo. She hosts the Microsoft Security Intelligence podcast. You should all make time to listen to her. She is the director of threat intelligence at Microsoft. And she has grown in the information security world up to becoming a director at Microsoft, which is the biggest company in the world. Cheryl did a degree in commerce. Yes, business. She did a degree in commerce. But then through her dedication in governance, risk, and compliance, and cybersecurity, she grew to become the director of threat intelligence at Microsoft. So governance, risk, and compliance, or information assurance, looks at achieving an organization's goals while ensuring that information and risks are addressed. So I work with our GRC teams hand in hand, since I work in information security, and we work hand in hand with our information assurance teams in ensuring that all risks a company faces are addressed, and all technological matters are also fixed, resolved, while also looking at what as mentioned by Togo, there are multiple regulations we have to follow once you're doing business in the private sector, because you're handling data subjects data. One, there's the Malawi Data Protection Act, which we have to comply to. So it involves reading a lot. So information security is a non-stop journey, or cybersecurity is a non-stop journey of learning, which is exciting. Learning is very, very important in cybersecurity. New laws are passed, you have to understand them, know where you have to act on them in your organization, assess the gap in your organization, and implement all corrections before you get fined. We also look into acts which are presented as bills prior to them being assented to or approved, such as the cybersecurity bill, which she mentioned. We look into all these aspects, we do gap analyses, and thereafter, as an information assurance professional or a GRC professional, you can advise your organization where to go. So everyone here, you can join cybersecurity starting tomorrow. It's all up to you. Take the initiative. It's never too late, and it's an exciting field. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kate, before you close, I wanted to say something. I forgot about that. This is pre to Macra. I think if you are to build the skills in cybersecurity, if you can support like cybersecurity hackathons that just focus on cybersecurity, because I believe that will give them the space even to apply the skills that they're getting. I was looking around to say, do we have such kind of events here in Malawi, apart from the conference? What else do we do in terms of promoting cybersecurity? So I think that's something that you can look into as Macra. Thank you.
I would like to respond to that. Remember, I said it's a shared responsibility. There's a part that we can do as Macra, but when it comes to education, there's also Ministry of Education involved. And right now, there's a lot that Macra has actually been doing in that space. I'm sure you've heard about the Universal Service Fund, and I know that one of the projects that is being handled by the Universal Service Fund is actually reviewing school curriculums, education curriculums of different in Malawi, so that some of these things are incorporated. But we are doing our part, but I believe each one of us, we also have a role. Remember, our role is enforcing cybersecurity, but the education and other things are also a role of other ministries as well. It's cross-cutting. I always say when it comes to cyber, it's not just the technical people or the lawyers. When you talk about cyber, it's a combination of so many other things. Yesterday, you remember there were talks of psychology, social engineering, that happens, and so many other things. Today I was talking about diplomacy. There's so much. So it's a combination of everyone realizing their roles and playing their roles and helping each other. We can be there like in helping. We have a resource like the state as well, our computer emergency response. If you remember last year, we had somebody who won, who was also actually on the panel, Naomi, who was placed at the set, who did not know anything about cyber. She has been there for 1 year. So these are some of the things that we are doing as part of us promoting cybersecurity. But the actual education is not really Macra's role. But because we are champions of cyber, we try to do our bit. And we believe that the starting point is reviewing the curriculum, making sure that cybersecurity and other ICT-related courses are onboarded on Malawi's curriculum, because we noted that this was something that was missing. Other countries like Rwanda, ICT start from standard 1, where everybody has a laptop. Those are some of the things, and there's a lot that even, unfortunately, Professor Mikeka couldn't be with us, but I'm sure he could have spoken a lot. I know they have got a number of projects that they're doing. There's BFIT, where they're giving laptops to primary schools, and I think issues of cybersecurity are part of the things that they're looking into. But it is a collaborative effort, and as Macra, we will try to do our part, but I would like to emphasize that it's a shared responsibility. We all have our roles to play.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, our panelists. I'll finish with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. It says, "The future depends on what you do today." Whatever decision you're going to make today about everything that has been shared today, about careers, about entrepreneurship, about just getting interested to know more about emerging technologies, will depend on what you're going to do today. Secondly, I think from whatever has been discussed, there have been a lot that been said about you have to understand, you have to understand, you have to understand. That tells us that we can't, if we want to learn more things about the emerging technologies, about the cybersecurity issues, we can't repress getting interest to study these things. It's not on TikTok. You'll not find those laws on TikTok, girls. We have to get interested into reading culture, okay? We have to get interested to know these things. You've seen how these people are able to articulate these things. Have you seen them like reading from the book? Why? Because when they were coming here, they had to prepare, they have to study. So we can't replace the reading culture with anything. If we are to excel in whatever field that we are, we still have to get interest to learn more about whatever profession that we are. So can we give a last clap to our participants? And we can take our seat. Thank you so much. It's been an afternoon of ambushing each other, and at least I'm happy that I paid back to someone. So have a good afternoon. I think there's one burning question. I was trying to rescue my team from answering questions, but it hasn't worked.
Thank you very much. My name is Wes Rukere. In fact, I'm not trying to ask any question, but I'm just trying to comment on some of the things that actually have been actually spelled out. First of all, let me just give you a bit of my background. One of the guys who actually started teaching cybersecurity at MAST, I think the first cohort at MAST was done by myself, the one that actually she mentioned, doctor, the lesson doctor. So what I want to say is we have students who have graduated from universities, and these students are supposed to be mentored. Like you saw, there's 3 girls. The one was from MAST, the other one was from, the other 2 were from Malawi School of Government, which was actually previously known as MIM. So you see, girls can be actually mentored if we combine the private sector as well as the academia. I'm from private sector, but still more I still go and teach at these universities. So if we still get these graduates and make them do what we feel it's done by industry, they actually can do more. And the other thing that I've observed with academia, which has to be resolved, is whereby we just get technology from outside, say from UK, from USA. At least there should be a point whereby we as a university should be developing those technologies. Like AI, you see, AI is coming from somewhere else. Whilst we have computer science in these universities. And I remember a long time ago, we used to learn issues like grammar. In computer science, we used to learn grammar, parsers, how the ones that actually develop programming language. You can develop your own programming language using grammar and parsers. So there are tools that people use, like Antler. There is a tool called Antler, which I actually most of the times tell students to say, you can use a tool like Antler to develop your own programming language, to develop your own AI tool. So it's something that actually, if you're talking about imaging technology, let's make sure that we are also doing that. People should say, okay, the imaging technology is coming from Malawi and it's coming from MAST or it's coming from Malawi School of Government. So this is very important that we don't just get scripts from outside. We can also sit down and do our own research to say, how did these guys come up with ChatGPT? Can we come up with our own ChatGPT probably in Chichewa? Let me just finish, just some seconds. By finishing, I'll just like to appreciate some of my students which I actually taught at MAST. First of all, I would like to see Angela Nyaka is around. Hoa Hoa, can you stand please? Those girls, that's Angela working with, is it NIF or TNM? Who is working for TNM? Okay, she's working with TNM. And they've got also the ally over here. Can you stand up? That's, you remember him? Last time he also came here for the cyber security. Nathan, he's now the lecturer at MAST, but he was one of my students. The second cohort that actually I taught. And there's other, can you stand up please from MAST, eh? Mim, sorry for just, I just want you people to appreciate that you're doing some other great things. Can I see you, Gertrude, and your colleagues? Yeah, so those are the girls that I'm trying to mentor over there this year. The three girls actually presented in front. So I think it's important that we, as industry, we actually talk together with academia, and we also do a lot of research and come up with our own too. Thank you very much for giving me this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the comment.
Thank you so much, Kate Moore. I do not think there was anybody who could have done it better. You excelled, you took up the opportunity, and you showed us why you were the right candidate to take up that panel. So thank you so much. A hand for Kate, please. Okay, now I'll give Eugene 5 minutes. He just wants to talk more on the technical training that is going to be held tomorrow for the girls. Eugene, yes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, my name is Eugene Sambo Mwewa. I am a SOC analyst and CTF instructor at Digital Safe Limited in Zambia. So, show of hands, who wants to hack tomorrow? I need more hands up. Who wants to hack tomorrow? Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Okay, so I'm just here to tell you a bit more about what's in store for you tomorrow. I advise all of you who want to participate, bring your own laptop. Okay, a laptop charger. If you want, you can bring your own Wi-Fi, and yeah, so on. So the challenges I've prepared for you, you can read up on web security, photography, things like that. You only have 2 hours to participate, and I'll send a link early tomorrow morning for you to register. You'll be competing individually. I like some competition, be competing individually, and there will be prizes for you in store. Okay? So remember, bring your laptop, you compete individually. I'll share a link for registration. It's on the Cyber Talents platform. Hopefully I can get time tomorrow to take you through the platform and everything before we start. But yeah, that's what I store for you tomorrow. So bring your laptop. Only up to 100 of you will compete, so the first 100 who register will compete. But please, I can't urge this more. Bring your laptop. Fun to compete. Thank you.
So this will be our breakaway session for tomorrow. So girls, I hope you are ready. I think last year, I think Tokozani had pointed out, we had Naomi, and she took part in this, and she was able to intern with the Malawi CERT. We'll have a breakaway session. This will be our last session for the girls. This will be on writing personal statement, college application, and searching for scholarships. We'll take it in the same room we did yesterday, so you can carry your chairs. Your tea will also be served there. For those of us young girls that are working, we are done for the day, but in the evening we have a cocktail starting at 6:30, where we had dinner yesterday at the main foyer. So you are all invited to the cocktail. Please let us come and network and meet somebody new if you haven't met anybody yet. So young girls, please take your chairs and go to the next room. Your tea will be served there. The rest of us, our tea is going to be served here at the back. I'm not sure, Chair, if you have any closing remarks for today.